Welcome to the 7th annual Samui Swine Classic sponsored by Innova Disc Golf. This is Geoff Hungerford from Louisville, Colorado, along with
Johnny Rumble from Germantown, Wisconsin. Hiya, Jeff.
How you doing, John?
Good, buddy. I feel like we've been here before.
Is winter over with yet?
It's very, very close, but not what we're looking at right here, is it?
Well, this was 3 months ago. It seems like yesterday.
Oh man,
We're looking at hole 7 on the course. It's an 11-hole course. Johnny Rumble throwing his drive. There is a Mando on the left, and you navigate it perfectly, giving yourself a long putt there.
Yeah, I struggled a bit on this hole this week. I don't know if it was the winds or I don't know. Here we got Beven
Payne from Calgary.
Yep, Canada. He makes the Mando.
Now, they say this is 344 from tee to basket.
Got Marc Wisbey on the tee pad. He just wants to be safe.
Oh, he hit some little stump.
Yeah.
344 from tee pad to basket, but you have to weave it. So it's a long 344.
It really is. You got to commit, just like, well, your shot right there. Right by the basket.
Yeah.
That was pretty sweet. See, Mark just got a bad bounce and a bad roll. And again, you could see the winds, it's last year when we played here at the 6th annual, it wasn't as windy.
No, and the wind here is strange. It comes from different directions. And of course, the weather changes because we're in an island out in the middle of the Gulf of Thailand. But since this is the bonus coverage, we assume you've watched the Men's Open and Women's Open. Oh, look at this. Very aggressive. Long putt.
Would have been nice.
You got closer than I'm going to get here from 18 feet. Terry showed up and I was nervous. I had a pretty big lead at this point, and then
yeah, Mark and I were really just battling it out with each other. We were like, well, we ain't gonna catch Jeff, so.
Okay, Mark doesn't feel good about that. What'd you think of these baskets? Did you notice any differences?
You can. Oh, hello. You can see that this has got some like newer chains on it. It felt like some of these were different from last year, didn't it?
Yeah, he's been working on them. And I don't believe that they were originally homemade. I think that's the Innova band, isn't it?
I think so because he ended up getting the graphics for it this year.
But the chains are heavier than what we're used to in the United States. We're coming up here on hole 8.
Right, our 19th hole.
Yeah, our 19th hole of this round. A little over 300 feet. Doesn't feel like 300 feet to me. That's a great shot. You are right up in the green.
Thanks. I birdied this hole every time.
Oh, that's amazing.
This week, yeah. This
is a tough hole for everybody. If you watch the MPO, you watch James Conrad and Nate Perkins, Nicola Castro. They don't always get there on this one. Yet those trees that we're looking at, it's hard with the depth perception to know exactly which tree to go around and how big the gap is. Now on this shot, I hit the gap I was aiming for.
Yeah, you certainly did. But the wind, I mean, to me, again, I kept having to change the disc that I like throwing there that I never threw once. Ooh, Wisbey finds a early tree.
One thing I found that's different about this course is that it has a lot of coconut trees. Now, we don't see a lot of that in America, obviously, but all the coconut trees kind of look identical from a distance, right? They're the same color, almost the same diameter, and you can't really tell where they are in three-dimensional space. I mean, as you walk the course, you kind of get to know it, but as you look at it from the tee, the scene almost gets flattened, And this is a good example of a hole. When you look at the basket from the tee, you see a bunch of trees, but it's it's hard to pick out the gap.
Yeah, agreed. Plus, there's a lot of green when you're looking off from the tee. Just the trees, whatever those. I'm not sure what those trees are directly behind Bevan there, but it definitely blends in. And then there's water back there too, which is a danger of this hole. If you throw it a little too hard or a little too much hyzer, you can end up going OB. All
Okay,
right.
hole 9. There are 2 holes on this course that I think you absolutely must get a birdie. Hole 1 and this hole, which is hole 9 on the regular 11-hole course. Boy, you're keeping the box.
Yeah.
Now, what do you do here? Do you throw straight at it? You throw a little turnover?
I throw it straight at it with the mid range. I'm an Innova guy, so my rock. I just find that the best is to go at it. You got a nice little slide. It's got a fast green up there.
Yeah, I'm still a long way outside the circle, though.
Evan plays the flip. It tabletops very nicely. Look at that. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, Wiz. Here we go.
Everybody seems to lace this hole. You've got to. You really got to get there. It's only 200 and I don't know what it is, 220 feet. It is a long putt for me, and I'm feeling bad that I didn't make my drive. But,
And you put it away.
yeah. Yep,
Dude,
no harm, no foul.
You played so well the whole tournament. You really did, Geoff. You took us to task right out of the gate. It was awesome. I was really happy for you, buddy. Really happy for you.
Oh, I was so psyched coming over to play. I first came to Thailand in the late 1990s, and I loved it, and I've been over there about 10 times. And last year, I came over to play disc golf and to explore possibilities for new courses up in Chiang Mai. And when I saw these 2 courses on the island of Samui, on Koh Samui, I just got so excited. I couldn't believe I was seeing disc golf in Thailand, and good disc golf. This is beautiful. What a beautiful spot.
Yeah, Nigel Mills is the tournament director. Him and Luke Butch. Nigel has done a tremendous job with this property. It is amazing. All right, what hole are we looking at here?
We're at hole 10, is short one. It's less than 200, just less than 200. And there are optional ways to get to the basket. That's
Not one
obvious. Yeah, the high hyzer.
of them. I like
Again,
the high hyzer.
it's hard to see the gap there. If you look down that row of trees, it's hard to know exactly how far you need to go before you make a left turn.
Yeah, I think I only birdied it once out of all the rounds, unfortunately. So yeah, we're making this look like a really tough 197-foot hole.
There's a lefty forehand down that left channel.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of guys throw it down there too, even in practice rounds.
And View Giorgio, the women's player from Thailand, who's very, very good, she'll throw a righty backhand down the tightest little gap down this hole, and she'll get there.
Yeah, I've seen her throw it. We played what was that? Like closest to the pin, or it was the game before the round. I was in her group, and she threw it down that little lane that you're talking about. I'm not even sure, and she was under the basket. So
She was a Muay Thai boxer for a few years when she was a little younger, although she looks really young, but she's a mom.
yeah,
But yeah, you don't want to mess with her. She can defend herself real well.
yeah, I've heard. She's a pretty good golfer too.
She is good, but I think she gets nervous at these big events.
Yeah, it might be. You gotta play a lot, and this is not a long technical course, but you have to make your birds. You have to make the shots that are presented to you every time.
Well, I think after the round, Terry and I were talking on camera, and I told him I thought it was a tactical course, almost like a game of chess, because You do need to get the birdies, but there is trouble if you get if you get off to the side. You can be scrambling. We haven't really seen too many holes that'll eat you alive, but we're coming up on them.
Yep.
Hole
Here's
18, another 190-foot shot.
hole 11. Yep.
What did I say? Yeah, hole 11.
18. Yeah, it's 11. It's 197 feet. It's basically a straight shot. I try to throw a straight shot with a little fade again on a mid-range disc. Get off it.
It's a tiny gap to hit with a backhand. Now, a real man will throw a forehand here.
Not I.
I should have thrown a
Get
forehand.
sneaky. Get sneaky.
That's good enough.
I think that got sneaky.
About 3 weeks before this tournament, I came into town about the same day Sarah Hokum did. And Sarah and I had been talking for a few weeks before we came to Thailand. It was her first time over here, so I was giving her some tips. And we met and we went around, and I threw a forehand on this hole. I was so nervous because Sarah Hokum was watching me throw forehands.
I get it. She's a really good player.
Oh my gosh, she had, I think she averaged 1,000 rated golf.
Yeah. What did you shoot your first round, Geoff? That it was a 9 down, right? So
It was 1,000 something, 1,003 or something.
all 3 of her rounds were that.
This round I struggled a little bit, partly because I was trying to protect my lead, and partly because I was being aggressive when I shouldn't have been, like on that particular putt.
Yeah. Again, you can see the wind moving the leaves and the branches around a little bit. It was like a low, steady breeze. The Wiz puts one in there for a birdie.
Marc Wisbey from Lawrence, Kansas.
Lawrence, Kansas.
Now keep an eye on this putt. See where I hit the chains. See what you think. How much of the sweet spot did I get?
That looked like all of it.
Pretty much
But
everything on the pro side of the
said,
chains. Yeah.
Nope. You have some strokes to give though, so no worries.
In the background, we see Nigel's house and his restaurant all in one building.
Yeah, and Kingsley Flat coming up, take some photos.
Yeah.
Super good guy from Australia.
Now, what do you think is going to happen with this tournament next year? I mean, assuming everybody can fly to Thailand and we're all not, quarantined anymore, do you think it's going to grow, get bigger?
I think so. Seeing it on online like this, look at this beautiful coverage that's going on. The MPO players that show up, the FPO players that show up. It's a destination, absolutely, for end of January, early February. You have the Heiser Brownie, which is played across the island. I would think, yeah, I got lucky on that one.
That bush is okay to hit because it's only about 30 feet from the basket.
Right, you get inside the circle. I think it might be bigger, so, I mean, if you're thinking about going, you might want to try to get in early.
They do have a limited amount of people that can play, although we play 22 holes in the morning and then another 22 in the afternoon. You play either in the morning or the afternoon, so they have potentially they could accommodate 160 people, maybe something like that.
Right, and was it capacity or very close to capacity?
It was more than 140, as I recall. Yeah, this is a bit more than 30 feet. No problem.
The Rumble has found his groove late in the game.
That was a good putt from there.
Thank you.
So this is hole 1. This is the other hole that you absolutely must birdie, and we'll see if I can make that happen. Nope.
You got to hit the triple Mando. It's not a long hole. What's it say? 145 feet. And it's a scary 145 feet.
It's a good hole. It's so short, but that little bush that you hit, you need to get over that, and then you need to put the brakes on because that green, this is a really fast green.
Oh, it's a very fast green, yeah.
some of the greens are pretty sticky, but this one is not.
Whew.
And there's some obstacles to putt around, and that wind, you can't predict what direction it's coming from.
Right. Got a little tap in there.
I love this hole. If you play this hole enough times, it's probably 280 feet from tee to basket, but there is so much static and the fairway is pretty tight. Sooner or later, if you play this hole enough, you will have to scramble for a par, and I like that.
Agreed. There's a couple of different lines to hit, but if you miss, even by a little bit, look at that. Wiz puts it right up there.
That's one of the lines. I think it's the line that you prefer, which is to hyzer a little bit off to the left where there's
That is
some room.
correct, because I've ended up on that right side, and that can be pretty bad. Now they've cleaned it up really nice from last year. I was in it twice last year, and I bogeyed it one at a time. So yeah, I definitely try to stay on the left line off the tee.
Well, if you clear the gap the way you play it, you'll have a putt. It might be 30, 40 feet, but you'll have something. Now, I'm more aggressive. I'm going to try to flip that over, and I'm willing to risk that jungle on the right.
And again, last year, that would have been an automatic 4. It had a lot of low scrub in there.
This is a driver, by the way.
Look at that.
I threw my Ballista Pro because I needed to skip on that sandy jungle floor.
That was Beven with a good up. Yep. Okay, I was like, I know the basket's there somewhere.
So, John, tell people listening about the accommodation in Thailand. If they wanted to come to Thailand, how would they get a place to stay? How much would it cost? I mean, where'd you guys stay?
We stayed, let's see, we stayed close to the water. Like, it was a 3-minute walk to the water. It was like $15 a night or $20 a night. Fairly inexpensive. It was like a little resort, nothing fancy about it. I know you stayed right on the water in that real nice hotel, because we did commentary from there.
That's right, we did it right from the hotel room. I remember, yeah, and we could just step out the hotel room and you know, the beach, and the waves are crashing. Yeah, right below the window.
And for me, like I said, it was just a little bit of a walk. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was nice. We were more inland last year. It'll put you a little closer to Nigel's, but again, very inexpensive. I think that place was like, $12 or $14 a night.
All right, hole 3, $170. It's an island hole. From the tee, it doesn't look particularly difficult, but if you watch, especially the open women and some of the open men, some of them struggle to keep it in bounds.
Yeah, it's an island hole.
Well, you have to pick a gap here, and I love the way Sarah Hokum played it way out to the left. She has a righty forehand, so she could hyzer in from the left-hand side, really minimize the danger. Let's see what you got here. You haven't made a mistake yet. No, you're right there.
Yeah, I play this hole. I think I try to play it the same way every time.
Ooh, that's what can happen. And now he's going to have to go to the drop zone.
Yeah, he didn't make the island. It's not a long hole, 200 feet, and it's got a lot of peril on it. You can leave yourself in the circle and still be behind one of these coconut trees.
One thing I really love about these 2 courses here on Thailand, the tournaments, is that the really long throwers, like James Conrad and, Paige Pierce, and they don't have the same kind of advantage as they would at a Jonesboro or a Milo MacGyver or a Fox Run when they just out-throw their competition. So everybody can reach this hole. Nico can reach it, everybody, But it just depends on whether you can suck it up on the tee and find a gap and throw that little touch. 180 foot, it's almost annoying. It's so short, but it's long enough where you have to give it something. And there's OB. Nice birdie.
Thank you. You also. Right. It's an approach shot, but you're on the tee. You
Yeah.
know, you how solid is your approach game? Is kind of how I went into it this year. Last year, of course, because we had never seen it before.
Okay,
Very
this is pretty much my favorite hole on the course. Well, it's a little over 300 feet, but it's got an extremely low ceiling. And for a right-handed backhand, you're going to have to throw turnover, curve it around a little bit to the right. If you're a right-handed forehand, it might actually be more difficult because as your disc hyzers out, it's going to leave you 40, 50 short.
right. There's almost the danger of putting too much power forward.
Now,
And
you
go
and I
ahead.
have very different plans for this hole.
I do, and I broke my my play on here. I
Normally,
normally go with something stable to go out left and then just play the three, but I was trying to catch you at this point.
now I'm throwing turnover here because I like to just poke it through that gap and let it flip over to the right.
And why not? And that didn't hurt you.
No, I mean, as long as you make that first segment and get out of the darkness, you're going to have an easy three, which is not a bad score on this hole.
Right. And this, if you leave yourself too short, it becomes a very, very difficult shot.
Yeah, you still have lots of tunnel to go through. Even though you threw a perfect shot, you still have a long putt.
Right. It's hard to get it, the distance on it with the low ceiling in there too.
So we were talking about accommodation in Thailand, and this is something I learned 20 years ago, is that Thailand has a reputation for being inexpensive. You hear things like, hey, I got a nice place for $20 a night. And so there's a lot of competition at that end of the market. Everybody comes to Thailand. Everybody wants a cheap place to stay. So the prices go up in that low range. But in the luxury range, the ultimate luxury, like that room you saw I was staying in on the beach, that was $60 a night. Well, in America, you can't get a Motel 6 for $60 a night.
No, and it's Motel 6.
Right. And for the cost of flying over there and, paying another 10, 20, $30 a night to have a nice place, I just found that's the way I experience Thailand. I go ahead and I look for the nice places because they're not popular. Everybody's over there trying to save $10. That place that I stayed in, I was one of maybe half dozen guests, and they easily had 30 rooms.
Right, and you got a nice restaurant downstairs, right?
Oh yeah, they were hand cooking everything. It was really good.
I mean, we had a restaurant right up the street from our place called Two Sisters. Awesome, tremendous. I
Thai
can't,
food.
yeah, anything and everything. I mean, we kind of had a little of everything every day. I ate 2 or 3 meals there a day.
Now, did you learn to speak a few Thai words?
No, did you?
Yes. You want to save money in Thailand? Speak a little Thai. The price goes down.
I get to travel with Terry Miller, the disc golf guy. So, I mean, I try to use that to my advantage.
All right, final hole in the bonus round.
Nope, two more.
No, you are right. This is the second to the final.
Yes,
Okay.
but this hole, 627, and it is all of that and then some, right?
So why do you like this hole?
I like it because, it forces you to poke out that first drive and, put it on that spot, which you did every round.
Well,
I
except the
struggle
one I
on
threw out of bounds.
it. Well, okay, just the one. I could not find my groove on this hole where last year I parted every time and I birdied it once.
Do you play the drive that goes off to the right here and hyzers back in?
I did this year because like I said, I could not find my groove, so I started taking the hyzer route and
Let's
trying
see
to
what
get
you
it
do.
to dig in left
Oh, you did that perfectly.
and open up that right. But for whatever reason, I kept running into trees, and as long as I'm not behind them, it would kind of open up that corridor. Um, I
Now
like.
look
Go ahead.
look at the scene here on this hole. As you look out in the fairway, you see dozens and dozens of trees, but they're flattened, right? The view is flat. You can't tell. You lose your distance or depth perception, I guess is what I'm saying. So you
Yeah,
kind of almost have to imagine that where the gap is. You can't really look for it.
right. And especially on this throw now, where Wiz is set up, he's got to get it to go to the right through all these trees. Plus, there's like a good barrier tree just before the pin. Again, I don't know what kind of tree it is. I want a little more stable and kind of paid the price for that.
So Wiz made a great shot. He had a poor
Yeah.
drive there, and he really needed to place it in a spot where he has. Now here you got a little unlucky
Yeah, the wind just scooped it up.
and put it out of bounds.
Yeah, yep, just by a little bit. And again, you had a great drive, you know,
Ju-
opens up that little righty Anheuser window.
Yeah, I just want to have a look at a birdie at this point. The big forehands can go out to the left, and the big right-handed backhands can turn it over out to the left like you tried to do. But unfortunately, you and I don't throw 450, so
No,
we have to find the little subtle gaps that shorten the hole.
correct.
There's Wiz saving his par. He's still got some work left to do, but he played this hole well, considering that he had trouble on his drive.
Yeah, it's still pretty breezy out there. You can see those flags in the distance. Yeah, you could see me. It just inbounds. That was kind of a bummer.
Now, this hole, although I did birdie it once this weekend, I played 43 consecutive holes on this course, all the way till Saturday afternoon without a single bogey. And I played this hole, and I got double OB6. I
Of
think
course,
yeah, of course, yeah.
of course. Uh, well, there's just one more after this one, Jeff. It's this was a special tournament for you, wasn't it? Huh? Coming
It
into how many
was,
wins for you?
this was my 100th pro victory.
Your 100th pro victory, Jeff. Think about that. Think about that, people.
Well, somebody asked me once how many AM victories have I had, and I said, I have never actually competed as a PDGA amateur. I started playing disc golf before the PDGA started, and so I would always choose the tougher divisions, and I never,
There was just
never.
the one division open,
That's right.
right? I mean, that
It's
when I
in
first started
74.
playing, when I came to Wisconsin, I played a couple advanced tournaments. I did, fairly well and just jumped into the open men. That's all there was. It was either that or advanced. Look at that. Nice par. Nothing wrong with the par there.
No, that no
Uh,
shame in that.
Another picturesque hole.
Yeah, this will be our last hole for another year or so. I hope to see you in Thailand again next January.
I'd certainly like to. It says 436. A couple of the FPO, the ladies were
Great to play with you.
putting them up there.
4 there.
Pretty amazing.
Round. Now we're even.
Yeah, I think Paige Pierce got a 2 on it.
Yeah.
And she had another opportunity to get a 2. I watched those videos.
Again.
Good round, bud.
Look at this.
God, we had
Conrad.
fun.
We're too nice to each other.
Thank you, Terry,
Yeah.
Mark, did you get a 4?
for filming us. Good man
Is
for
it you
doing
or
that.
me? It's me? Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Wait. Hi,
I knew
Kenzie,
that.
Cookie, and Hallie.
That's
Those are-
Terry's daughters.
Terry's daughters, Mackenzie and Allison.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Just a pipe.
Yeah,
That's
you want to be a
really
little
all it
careful.
is. Yeah.
There's OB on the left, so I don't want to get too high, and there's OB on the right, so you don't want to get too aggressive with your flip up. Let's see what Wiz does. Oh, he hits the alley just perfect. Although he's flirting on the left. What you got here, John?
I got a G-Star Destroyer.
Oh yeah, that's
Really enjoying those a lot. You know, I don't have quite the arm speed I used to, and the G-Star plastic seems to elevate my game
does it flip up a little bit?
a little bit. Yep, yep. It's got a little more
I need
flex
that
in the
too.
plastic. We're going to be wrapping it up here fairly quickly. I just want to thank Nigel and Luke and their families. Geoff, I'd like to thank you, all the players that we get to hang out with.
And I'd like to thank Terry Miller. People don't realize what an athlete he is. He not only filmed all 3 rounds of the men's and women's divisions. To do that, he had to get up in the morning and go 22 holes with his camera, and then he got about an hour break, and then he would do it again in the afternoon, you know, for 3 days in a row. And then he came out and followed us for the last 11 holes.
I know.
That's pretty athletic.
Yeah, that's putting on a few miles, and it was warm. It was warm. It was breezy. This was kind of a big pot. I was a little nervous about this one.
Oh, you smashed it.
And,
Johnny, it's been fun doing the commentary with you. I want to say thank you. And
you
really
also,
had a blast.
and I want to thank Terry Miller also for letting me follow him around the world for these tournaments, for these destination tournaments. I can't say enough what a great travel partner he is to go out and hang out with. And then, well, like I said, I get to meet some pretty cool people like you, Geoff.
Thanks. Well, we're going to meet maybe this year at the Silver Cup in Manitowoc.
All right, buddy. And this puts the cherry on the sundae.
Okay, see you later.
All right, I think you and Terry are going to do a little something real quick.
I was worried about both of you guys.
I want to thank Mark and Beven.
Months strong.
It was a great round.
What an event.
I ended up losing the playoff for second place and took third place, which, you know what? I already won. I was in Thailand in January, so
Slapping there.
winner, winner.
I'm the Disc Golf Guy, and that was my video blog. Joined by Geoff Hungerford as we just got done watching the bonus action here at the 2020 Samui Swine Classic presented by Innova Champion Disc. Geoff, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you, Terry.
How does it feel?
This is a special event for me. This is my 100th pro victory. This is an A tier, and I had to jump up 3 divisions to play Program Master, and I had to go up against your buddy Johnny Rumble, who is not a trivial player. So I really feel good about this one. This is great.
It's very incredible. Congratulations, first and foremost. Now, last year, you guys were both playing, actually, you and Johnny Rumble, who we just mentioned, both playing in the MP40 division.
That's right.
And you guys went 1-2 there. He took the win. You took second. This year, the roles reversed. And what a great battle, huh?
Yeah, this is an interesting course. It's very tactical. It's like a game of chess. And even if, like, this round I had a little bit of a lead, but I'm still thinking about, well, you know, how do you get the safe par? And I think you recorded some of the most difficult part of my weekend. I missed about 3 or 4 putts. And then Johnny was coming up, I could hear footsteps, you know, until those last couple holes, you know, and then it got easy.
Yeah, then you got to mail it in, so to speak. Now, you've been traveling internationally and playing a lot of events in the last few years. Give everyone the sales pitch for either that time in your life or the retirement or whatever it is. Give everyone that sales pitch for how they need to get out and enjoy golf.
Okay, so here's the short version. I started playing seriously in 1974, the first big Frisbee golf tournament, brand new car, and I caught the bug. But my dad insisted that I finish college and have an actual career. So I did that and had a family, and that was my priority.
Yep.
But in my heart, I wanted to play disc golf. I wanted to tour. I admired the big players, you know. And so I made it all the way through my career at age 61. I told my boss I left a really good job. I told him I'm going to go out on tour. And I don't care how bad I am, you know. That was almost 4 years ago. And I cannot tell you how much it's improved. I mean, my game got better, my life got better. If you're my age, you know, you're getting 50s, 60s. I mean, this is the place to be. Look around. Oh my gosh, what else are you gonna do? Get an oxygen tank and go to the casino? So yeah, this is the place to be. This is wonderful.
Absolutely. And your PDJ 688?
That's That's a designer
number?
number. Yeah, we got to pick our own numbers back when the PDJ started.
Okay.
And so I picked my IFA number. But yeah, the PDGA got started in about June of 1976. Steady Ed took numbers at the Boulder tournament,
Yep.
the 76 Nationals, and that's really where all the low numbers got handed out. But we didn't care. A low number didn't mean anything back then, so you picked a special number. You know.
Well, it's 688 and another very special number, 100 victories. Congratulations, Geoff. It's
Thank
been a
you,
pleasure. And not only has Geoff managed to rack up these 100 victories, but he's also become a staple out on the tour and one of the nicest guys you could possibly run into. And I got to get that in there because every time I see him, he's got a smile and he's always as helpful as possible and supportive as he could be. So even better than the golfer that he is, he's a true stand-up human and an awesome man. So glad to be here for the 100th. Guys, we hope you enjoyed the bonus coverage. We'll catch you next year at the Samui Swine.
Thanks, Terry.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, good interview. Oh, that was so nice.
Nice work. You did great.